Hello, good morning, everyone. Okay, yes, it's now 10:40 a.m. right here. So it's still good morning. I almost thought it was afternoon. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Join me. Join me on this live video. We're going to talk about some exciting things. Today, we're going to be talking about US citizenship and how the US government or President Joe Biden is encouraging people who actually are eligible for US citizenship to apply for it to become US citizens. Welcome, welcome. Drop me your comments, say hello, let me know you're in the room as we chat about this very exciting topic. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen and then we'll jump into the cream of the scoop. Okay, right here. Welcome, guys, again to the live video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the page, and of course, share the video with your friends. You never know who could be undocumented or could need U.S. immigration law guidance. Okay, so the Biden administration is kicking off an effort to encourage longtime residents to apply for U.S. citizenship, launching a cross-agency campaign to reach some 9 million eligible people to become Americans. So this actually came out in a few weeks ago, I think in July. In fact, when President Joe Biden took office, he talked about the fact that he wanted to encourage a lot of people to become US citizens because that's how the US economy is kept running, and that's how, having immigrants become US citizens was very beneficial to the United States as a whole. So pretty much, President Joe Biden has actually launched a campaign to make sure that people who are eligible, they have been estimated to be about 9 million people to become US citizens. These people, I presume, are green card holders, and they actually qualify. So, in fact, let's backtrack to President Trump. When President Trump was in power, he actually wanted to dissuade people from becoming US citizens, okay? He didn't want people to become US citizens. He wanted to discourage people from becoming US citizens. So he put a lot of hurdles in place in order to discourage them. And some of the things he did was that for example, he actually made the citizenship test. You know, when you're applying for citizenship, as part of the process, when you go for your interview, you will be made to undergo a test, a civics test and an English test. And President Trump actually wanted to make the pass mark for the test higher. And then he wanted to make the test more difficult. So he released new questions. So we have the 2008 civics test. It's just 100 questions that you have to study to do the US citizenship. President Trump made it 120 questions that you have to now study. And, you had to pass 6 out of 10 questions. But President Trump, again, wanted to make it harder. So now you had to answer 20 questions and you have to pass 12 out of the 20. Thankfully, once President Joe Biden came into power, we reverted to the 2008 civics test. So President Biden did away or, canceled what ex-President Trump wanted to do with the US citizenship. So now the standard is back to where it was. If this was how difficult it was to become a US citizen, President Trump wanted to make it much more difficult. But President Joe Biden dropped the bar again back to where it has always been. So essentially, there's just a campaign that has been launched, and President Joe Biden doesn't want to discourage people from becoming US citizens. To the contrary, he thinks that immigrants are very special people. They are like amazing, and they help make America what it is. And so they want to encourage people to become American citizens. So guys, if you qualify to file for your citizenship, this is a good time to actually file for citizenship. Again, last year, what was happening was, let me take the screen off. We'll pull it back up. But since I'm not using the screen, I can take it up so you can see my face well. I'll be reading comments soon, guys, so don't worry. So last year, as at about in October, what was going to happen was that USCIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, they were going to increase their fees to make immigration processes more expensive. So, for example, citizenship was going to go up from, I think about, currently about $680 or $640. It's between $600 and $700. I will verify again the fee, and it was going to jump up to $1,100 just to file for U.S. citizenship, but that fee increment did not happen. So all these were strategies that I don't know if President Trump put in place to discourage people from filing for citizenship, but now it's back to basics. So if you qualify, this is a good time to file before new things crop up. So let's just continue. I'll be reading comments soon, guys. So drop me the comment. Just, of course, let me know you're in the house with me. Okay, so the campaign. Okay, so what President Joe Biden said was that new citizens strengthened with power and responsibilities that American citizenship brings, and that's absolutely true. Once you become an American citizen, you just have a lot of power and you have a lot of responsibility as well. And then these things make the nation better. And okay, so the strategies they are putting in place is to ensure that people who want to be citizens can actually pursue naturalization through a clear and coordinated process. Okay, so that's it. They want to make sure that the process is very clear, it's coordinated, it's streamlined, it's smooth as possible. Okay. Okay, so let me see if we need to go through anything here. I don't think so. Guys, drop me your comments. Let me know where you're watching me from. I will be reading them soon. So one of the most basic acts, this is from President Joe Biden. Basic acts of respect is inviting others into your home. As we close, whatever. Okay, this is so yes, they just want to invite people into their homes as Americans, make the nation big and strong, and just very inclusive of all sorts of these diverse cultures and talents, and people from all these rich backgrounds. So yes, they have actually included promoting naturalization at other stages of their immigration process, including when immigrants are granted a social security number. And yeah, they also what they've been doing is to increase the number of languages that the citizenship test is done in. So that when you're going to do the citizenship, you have to go through the English test, the civics test. But there are preparatory materials, and so sometimes you have preparatory materials in Spanish, in Arabic, and all that. So they want to increase the number of languages that these preparatory materials come in, so that even if you're a Ghanaian and you're more comfortable in Twi, you can prepare for citizenship using the Twi materials. So or if you're Nigerian and maybe you speak Yoruba, they would prepare materials, citizenship test materials in that language to make it easier for people to study for the test. Okay, so now let me go on to the next next screen I want to share, guys. Okay, let me read a comment. We just have one comment here. Hodrep says hello Hodrep, I appreciate you joining us today. I hope you are doing great. Let me share this final screen and then we will be done for the day. Okay, that's it. I see it right here. Please bear with me. I think this is it. Okay, so this is the update concerning U.S. citizenship. It's quite interesting. So let me pull this up bigger. Okay, so as we were saying, what happened last year was that they found that there was a real major dip, meaning that during the COVID, the number of people who became citizens were very few when they compare it with the other years. So last year, so the fiscal year, the fiscal year ends in September 30th. It just had about 625,000 people in fiscal year 2020 applying for citizenship. That's during the COVID. But this year, 2021, we have had an increment, an increase or an uptick in the number of people who have applied for citizenship. Now we have around 800, I should say over 800,000 people who have been naturalized this year. Okay. And okay, so the uptick again, I think this news is quite recent, just about yesterday or today. And the uptick, that's the increment, comes as the Biden administration has been encouraging eligible lawful, that's green card holders, to apply for citizenship. Okay. And the interesting thing is that during the Trump era, there was an increment. So there was the agency reached an 11-year high of 843,000 citizenship. And why this happened was, first of all, because of the increase. Well, they were planning to increase fees, so people rushed. There was a mad rush to just kind of file for citizenship because nobody wanted to pay the extra about $500 that was going to come with applying for citizenship after October 2020. So people rushed to apply for citizenship. And so pretty much the news is that there's now been an increased, there's an increased number of people who are filing for US citizenship. And again, if you qualify, it's a good idea to actually file for your citizenship now. So let's talk about this part of the news as well. So on Tuesday, this was just Tuesday. Actually, today is Veterans Day, so it's a holiday in the US, well, a federal holiday, but not everybody's holidaying. Some of us are working. Okay, so on Tuesday, there was a naturalization ceremony where a number of people were sworn in to become US citizens. Okay, so the ceremony was joined by the Veterans Affairs Secretary and retired Army General, and there were 12 active duty military members who became citizens in celebration of Veterans Day, which is today. And the new citizens, of course, came from these countries. The latest US citizens, they came from 10 countries. This was Yes, so they came from Cameroon, China, El Salvador, Ghana, of course, Jamaica, Mexico, Nepal, the Philippines, Poland, and Vietnam. So they held another ceremony on Wednesday with Alejandro Mayorkas in Baltimore. That was yesterday. And yeah, they're just pretty much celebrating Veterans Day and then letting people know that, file for your citizenship if you apply, because the Biden administration is very friendly towards immigrants and they want you to become a US citizen. So if you do qualify for citizenship, you could qualify on the basis of being a green card holder for the last 5 years. Or if you are married to a US citizen, then you qualify after 3 years of being married with them. Okay, so yeah, this is the final part of the video of the article we're reading. So the record for naturalizations was in 2008, with more than 1 million people becoming US citizens, an uptick that was attributed to the upcoming fee increases and efforts to encourage eligible applicants to apply for citizenship. Okay. Guys, I hope you guys have benefited a little bit from this video. I think I was a little all over the place today, but bear with me. Some days are rough. I'm rushing to file some applications. We have some crazy deadlines coming up. So I just had to make time to come to you and make this video, because otherwise I don't think I'm not sure. I don't think I did record a video on Monday, but it's been a while. So I wanted to come your way with this update that you're encouraged to file for your citizenship, of course, if you qualify. And if you're not sure, just make sure you call us on 802-7800-564, and we will be happy to assist you. Okay. Guys, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you stay safe. I'll see you guys again maybe tomorrow or next week. Okay, take care and bye-bye.